The item that is going to be presented tonight by our Public Safety Director, Charlie Bird, and also Captain Stroud, with the assistance of a couple of our fire paramedic officers. This is an item that's in the budget for fiscal year 18-19. The three Lucas chest compression machines will be located at three of our fire stations. Of course, we have three, and they'll be on a truck, one of the trucks that is in each of the stations. The process that's used right now is manual, and so when this was presented to me by Chief Bird at the time and Captain Stroud, I felt like that this was the right purchase for us to put into our budget for the current fiscal year because it helps save lives. And so that comes first. So I'll yield to Chief Bird.
Thank you, City Manager, Honorable Mayor, and City Commissioners. I want to, they're not in here for me to introduce, but I want to let you know that Captain Mike Stroud will be doing the narrative and kind of explaining to you what's going on in this demonstration. He's been a paramedic. He's our EMS coordinator. He's been a paramedic for 20 years, and he's got 20 years of service here at the City of Winter Haven. Matthew Zahara is a firefighter 2, paramedic, and TRT member from Station 1, 15 years of service. Jose Lopez is a firefighter 1, paramedic, TRT, station to Station 1 with 9 years of service. And one of our newer members, Jacob Guerra, who's a firefighter 1 EMT at Station 1, 11 months of service. As the City Manager stated, these Lucas machines will be put on every truck that we have. We currently have one of these machines. That's what will be demonstrated tonight for you. Just to go over a couple of things, benefits and talking points about this machine. The provider, it provides CPR. Instead of a manual CPR, it actually is a machine that does the chest compressions for us. A common problem when given the CPR is that the chest does not always recoil on compressions. Believe it or not, that's a common thing. The Lucas machine helps to, it has a suction on it and it has a backing on it that actually helps pull the chest up. That is something that's a positive. In motion, whenever they get in the back of an ambulance and there's CPR being administered, the medics and EMTs are unrestrained, and oftentimes whenever there's a wreck, they're seriously injured because they're unrestrained. Now with this, they do not have to, they can get into their seat, get buckled in, and then the CPR continues with the patient where there's absolutely no break in life-saving measures, and those medics are safer. And it gives a consistent depth of 2.5 inches at a rate of 102 compressions per minute, which is what is something that's recommended. Something that's very interesting here is the survival out of hospital for cardiac arrest is variable, but often less than 5%, according to the American Medical Association. With the Lucas machine that we have, the one machine on one truck that we have, we've seen an increase in cardiac arrest survival by 35% just in the few months that we've had this machine. So we're looking forward to having these 6. And now we want to see what your tax dollars, we want the folks to see what their tax dollars is purchasing and how that is going to help us in giving much better medical services to our customers and patients. One note, today, the very machine that's going to be shown actually was used to get a pulse back on a patient today. So earlier today. With that, they're going to simulate to you first what they have to do whenever they're doing manual compressions, and then they're going to come back out and then show you what it is with the Lucas machine.
Pulse, start compression, start ventilation.
As Chief Bird said, this is beginning, no matter what we do, we're going to do 2 minutes of CPR. First person will be on the chest. We'll do CPR for approximately 2 minutes and we'll rotate out.
CPR for effective firefighter, approximately 2 minutes when they start losing their effectiveness and we start not getting the consistent depth we need to. As Chief Bird said before, we need to compress roughly 2.1 inches for survivability of a person.
Pay attention, if you would, to what each firefighter is responsible for, the difference between the two for scenarios.
Rhythm check, you continue CPR wearing V-fib. Alright, we'll charge to 200. Continue CPR, we'll charge at 200. Charging at 200. We're gonna shock at 200, we'll pause, make sure everybody's clear, I'm clear.
Clear.
Shock, 1, 2, 3, shock. Alright, continue CPR. 300 millimeter on the given. Rhythm check, you got a pulse? Still on V-fib, we're gonna charge to 200. Charging at 200, continue CPR while we charge. Alright, we're gonna shock. I'm clear here, clear, everybody clear. Shock, 1, 2, 3. Shot delivered, continue CPR. So hold it.
Okay, this is roughly 4 minutes in the call. We're going to stop here. And say we're going to reset it. I'll show you what it is with the Lucas device and how much more efficient we can be at doing our job.
You see all the different components that they're doing is that they've got to go along while one is totally dedicated to the chest compressions. Now, I just want you to pay attention to the process now when we introduce the Lucas system, and how quickly, and what you'll see when they get finished is they'll transport with that Lucas machine still attached, or they'll transport to the hospital, whether it's for air unit, if they're getting transported through a helicopter, whatever the case may be, that Lucas machine will continue the chest compressions to help save that patient's life. Paramedic that will enter with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, that would be the Lucas machine.
They want to paint them green and name them Donatello. It's really hard time to keep them not doing that. All right, try number 2.
Hello, sir, sir. Now breathe in that pulse. Here we go, start CPR. Let's start the pressure.
So we start off the same, doing chest compressions, getting under, start with the blood. We're seeing that place back to the border and back for stability of patients. Now it's going to take over the fact of one of our firefighters is doing chest compression. Again, it's going to deliver at 2.1 inches compression every time at a rate of 102. It doesn't stop, it doesn't get tired. We change the battery about every 45 minutes.
It's been flushed.
Now allows the second paramedic to go ahead and clear, come back to the point where you can start helping with medication. So we can start doing faster, getting our stuff set up, and now it's on around one person.
Maybe you're the wrong, get our Narcan drawn out. That.
Narcan is being given to the patient that they have a overdose or something of narcotics. But it's still going, it's not tired.
We're at 2 minutes. Pause long enough to analyze our rhythm. We're going to be fit. We're going to continue CPR. I'm going to charge at 200. Charging at 200. Alright, we're charging at 200. Jake, are you clear? Clear. I'm clear. You're clear. I'm clear. You're clear. Shot 1, 2, 3. Shot. Alright. Continue CPR.
For the previous time where we had to stop the pressure while we shot, it doesn't matter, it'll still keep going. So we keep pressure going in the body system, to keep blood circulating hard.
Yes, it is.
Increase our throat a little bit.
300. Like our underline rhythm still be good. We'll continue. Making gram of epinephrine being administered. Alright. Pause for a second, analyze the rhythm of the pulse, we're gonna be fib, continue CPR, charge at 200. Alright, Vicki, we're gonna shot, you clear, I'm clear, everybody's clear, shot 1, 2, 3, shot delivered. Alright, strap
Yeah,
this.
just keep going. Limit the number of times we're off the chest.
Ready? 1, 2, up. We'll go with first. Going down the side there. Yeah, we got it.
You want to stop CPR. Otherwise, we normally have to stop, we can't do pressure while carrying the body, so this is why we do it. These are some of our effects we have. Due to the study, I told you guys the importance of doing 2.1 inches compression. In this study, we use pigs, they put them in cardiac arrest. Gave CPR at an inch and a half depth at 80 times a minute. At that point in time, only 20 survived. They redid the study, they gave it 2 inches of depth and compression, 100 times a minute, 88% of them survived. So you can either take somebody doing CPR half the time, or you can do it full time, and you can see the difference in how it affects. I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your business, an hour today, so we can show you this.
As you can see, this is a good, worthy investment. They're gonna be on every one of our trucks, so when we respond to an ALS call, we will be able to administer this right away and utilize the Lucas machine, giving our customers, our citizens, our guests, a much better survivability rate. So I stand for any questions if you have any, but we wanted to make sure you saw what the investment was and the payoff, and then also that we're trying to think innovatively and always trying to push the bars as much as we can as far as thinking outside the box and being innovative and progressive.
Okay, questions for Chief? Well, Chief, thank you. This is a really good example of how local government really helps. This is not stuff that's happening in DC. This is right here in Winter. It's our budget. We're funding these things, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, are those machines used anywhere else?
The county is now starting to implement some of them, I believe, on some of their trucks. The nice thing is that the majority of the time in the city of Winter Haven, the calls that we run that are medical calls, we run 86% of our calls for service in the fire department are medical calls. Of those 86%, we service in the county as well as in the city. We don't have the boundaries for that. And we're on scene first generally. So we have that, we will have that set up much faster, and it'll go on the ambulance, on the helicopter, like I said, during transport if need be. Or if we get a pulse back like we did this morning, the machine comes off and we just get them to the hospital.
Is there any downside of those things? They break a rib or anything, or is there?
But that's the same thing that can happen even in manual CPR. These are consistent by medical, what the medical requirements are, and consistent compressions. So actually you have less of a chance of having something like that occur.
Well, good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, roll call. City Clerk?